My name is Lillian, and what led me to Epic Church were my twin daughters, Brielle and Bana. A few years ago, I had a babysitter that was attending Epic in Center City, and one time she asked me, she said, "Is it okay if I take the girls with me to church sometime? I haven't been able to go since I've been working on the weekends with you." And I said, "Okay, that's not a problem." I said, "Let me really see what this is all about." Next thing I knew, a year went past, and then I started to volunteer with the greeters. And now it's amazing. I love going in there, and I love showing love to everyone and visitors coming in, and I just feel like that's where I was supposed to be. Jesus has impacted my life ever since the beginning. As a little girl, my parents were both suffering from drug addiction, and it was pretty difficult being a child. Just some of the things that I used to see, we were sleeping in and out of cars. We would stay in motels on up and down Route 130. It was just things that a kid shouldn't have to experience. So I had to learn to become very independent, feeding myself, directing myself day to day. And through all of that, I remember my mom would watch Christian TV. And I remember being like 5 or 6 years old, and she would be on the side of the bed praying, and I would try to mimic her. I would sit next to her and do the same thing, and she would look out the corner of her eye and look at me and smile. And then she started letting me go to church, kids ministry, kids groups. She wouldn't attend, but she would let me go, and I enjoyed it. I get about 10 years old, and 1984, my 28-year-old mother dies from pneumonia, secondary to her drug use. And at that point, that's when my life started to spiral. At 14 years old, I started using drugs and alcohol, and I wound up having 20 years of addiction. And in that 20 years, it was just a lot of pain. I had no self-esteem. I didn't think I was lovable. What I was searching for was the love of my mom, and she wasn't available to give it to me. And in and out of bad relationships, in and out of abusive relationships, struggling, not wanting to use drugs, and still maintaining a level of life where I could hide everything. And at some point, about 2007, I had decided that enough's enough. I started in infancy steps to start getting better and reaching for help, and I started soul searching again. I went into rehab for a little while, and it was just a matter of me sticking with it and praying about it. And then 2008, I found out my husband and I were expecting twin daughters. And at that point, I was done. And God has sustained me for 10 years now. And it's amazing. When I look back over everything, when I look at my life, God was with me from the beginning. And it started with my mother. She planted seeds in me when she was making those prayers when I was a little girl. I'm healthy. My children are beautiful and strong. All the things that could have happened during that time period didn't happen. And I can only say that God was protecting me. Jesus was there. Jesus was there. And I can now see that. And I never want to be a day without being in a relationship with God. I never want to be a day without just giving thanks for everything.